Good evening, good evening, good evening, fine people. This is Captain Medyka calling. As you can hear, it's a hive of activity. Well, maybe you can hear, you never know. Hopefully we'll get someone on in a second just to give me a confirm on the sound. Who's the first punter in the room tonight? It is Michelle. Michelle, have you got audio? Just give me a quick yes or a no and a comment. Okay, Ben, audio? Yay, awesome. Okay, well, very sorry about last night's issues with signal. One thing I realised is that we were trying to do this at the same time as all of the sort of media were putting out their evening report. So we've got a bit of a bandwidth issue for definite at certain peak times of the day. It's like being at any major event and festival, only without the infrastructure. So yeah, really busy couple of days. Here's some of your purchasing. That's how this works. So all of our timber was delivered this morning. I like it when I can show you like big things. It's great. This is now Santa's workshop over here. Everything that's here, I think it's fair to say, is all from money you guys have raised. Because I can't say it enough, there's just not infrastructure. There's nothing. People didn't come expecting this. So the tools, the chop saws, the knives. I did borrow the generator from the Chinese people. It's all the work tables, the work. Check. Are you all still there? Are we all still there? Hopefully. Somebody give me a thumbs up if we're still here or something. And here's the guys very busy working on the... Those are really long legs. Really long legs. Yeah, so this is where the TVs are going to be mounted as the digital information points when they come in. Ben's there. Well, if Ben's there, it's all right. This is, I mean, you can tell I'm working in here to start with, but this is becoming our ops center. So this is where I try to, I can't come in here, can I? Because there's no signal. Just remembered. I'll do it from the door. Hope I don't lose you. So we've got our radio station over here. We've got stuff coming in all the time. The TVs are over there. They're going to get mounted on the things and covered up. It's still a little bit of chaos because we don't have a separate storage space. So Ops Center is also secure storage. So we've got work going on and hot desking in a very different style. And then over here, we just had bizarrely from Sunderland, a guy come and drop off a whole load of med. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's been such a crazy time. The UN are now here, but they can't formally work. So they're kind of soft hand touching and guiding us along in a kind of, you're doing awesome, keep up the good work kind of way. There's money flying in from different places. People are like, oh, I'll get that for you. Medical aid, the number of requests we're getting for specific medical aid and then to get it into Ukraine is absolutely huge. Just to give you a couple of stories, really, I don't know if I did this one. There was a young girl who'd been raped and was in significant difficulty just not far over the border. And again, without too much detail for safety, she's safe, well cared for, and with her embassy and a psychological support team. This last night was really weird because I'm lodging in a farmhouse about 45 miles out of the city up in the mountains, and there are 5 beds in the room. So initially, I didn't know that anyway, so initially it was just me. And then I met up with somebody else, and then other people were like, hey, can I get a... Yes, it is very, very horrific. Met up with the guy, and he's like, oh, I haven't slept in my car for 5 days, any chance I can come and get a couple of nights with you? So now we've kind of last night they were running the night shift, or they came in very, very late after doing something else I'm going to talk to you about. And so this morning when they woke up, I've tried to film while I was telling you this story. Yeah, great, well done, Massey. You never make a television presenter. I'll come back to that. So anyway, they have now, like last night was almost hotbedding because they'd been in about 2 hours, and then we were back down here ready to kick off at 9 o'clock this morning. But what they were doing last night was they were working at the end of the long line, shall we say, handing out the foil blankets and water and things, when the driver of a car basically abandons it with his passengers in it, and then it can't move down the line, and this woman's very, very distressed. She's got her elderly mother in the back who's incontinent and is wearing pads. So the guys go over and they're like, how can we help you? And she's like, I don't know what to do. I can't drive a manual vehicle. My mother's in difficulty. I need to sort her out. And they're like, look, give your hand, help you mum if you want, or just, make sure you got as much privacy as we can give you. And then they drove her car for the 4 hours that it took to get through back into inside Poland. The bizarrest, and if you want to take away of how these people are who are coming out of the Ukraine, the woman who had then changed her mother and clearly had been traveling for days says, right, then if you do that for me, I have to go and do your job. So she then went and took the blankets, and there was a refugee handing out blankets to fellow refugees. Crazy times, absolutely crazy times. What else has happened? The tent comes tomorrow. We finally get to move into our proper home, and that will really help. We have a prominent position, and that will really help us coordinate, particularly the independent volunteers who are here. Other crazy things that have happened today. Random guy. So I've talked to you about the site and the sex trafficking issues, and I've put people off the site in the past 24 hours. I've had 2 or 3 times where there's been a collection of people, and the police, they're bouncing from site to site, but so are our guys. So I mean, like the volunteer force as a whole. So they've seen. So like literally yesterday, one of the volunteer girls was like, "There's a guy just rocked up who's just been kicked out of Tesco's." Tesco's being the reclaimed distribution centre and humanitarian space. Still Tesco's, it's just faster. So she said, but like the police have just like rough-armed him and taken him, kicked him off the site, and he appears here about half an hour later. So yeah, we've had a couple of incidents this morning. Some guy, shady as anything, trying to pick up a girl and a mum and girl, challenged, and do you know this man? No. Well, why are you going with him? He said he'd give me a free lift to the processing centre so I could avoid the lines because my daughter's very cold. Stopped him, challenged him, brought the police in. Nah, not a chance. So there's some real scumbags around. So tomorrow's tent day. I tried a crepe this morning, having had my lobster experience. With the wind blowing this way, my hair's very, very broadcastable, actually, I think. What else is going on tomorrow? Oh, yes. So, because of that, I was telling you, we've got the site. We're getting the site sealed off by Friday. The processes that have happened here are just mad. So, I randomly bumped into somebody on Facebook, which is basically the way most of my stories are starting at the minute. French guy picked up something on a French news article that I was quoted in that I think Sal's posted in the group. Picks me up, sends me a message, start chatting. Turns out he works for some company who have a massive security protocol and can't afford to have a situation where like an access card point would break down. So have about 6 or 8 ID card printing machines available for redundancy at all times. So he just said, yeah, he said, I'll pick some up from work. I'll get you the software, the computers, the consumables, everything you need. I'll see you in 2 days, and I'll set up your entire ID system for you for the site. So that's moving forward at a pace. So hopefully we can lock things down and keep people a little bit safer. And I did go and buy some oranges and some sweeties. Have we been on too long? Maybe not. Let's go and see. Well, if you get bored of me talking, just don't have to stay. Perhaps head over to the tent, quickly to wrap this up, and then we'll take those down. And what I'm going to do is, especially with the fruit, the guys I started with at World Kitchen they've been really great, and we work really closely. In fact, the guy who is running the site here for them, I said to him the other day, I said, you got access to a vehicle? And he said, yeah. So I borrow his van and go and, he was going to pick up the TVs. And I come back and he's like, is it in one piece? I said, yes. He's like, well, he said, I don't really like lending my personal vehicle out. I was like, Grant, you've known me all of 8 days. You've given me your keys to your vehicle. So things are getting a little bit more organised. We've got wheelchair stations, and with the radios now you can sort of pass that information on. A bit of a fire here. Nathan, would you do me a favour, my friend?
Where can I put all this gear that's been dropped off, right?
What's been dropped off? Oh my god.
Food, toiletries, nappies.
Holy guacamole. Can you, I'm just on a... No, not for the same. I'm just on a live, Nathan, so do you want to give me a second? But can I borrow you? Can I borrow you? Would you mind...
Yeah.
Sorry it's dark, guys. Would you mind just grabbing these couple of trays of oranges?
Yeah.
And bring it round to World Kitchen?
World Kitchen, right?
Yeah.
Who's working on this?
Thanks, mate. Okay. So, we also bought some chairs. These plastic chairs.